Hi, today we're going to discuss how to make a good livelihood. This is Avrohom Czapnik from the Jewish Learning Exchange in Los Angeles. I hope you and yours are well. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Naso, the largest portion in the entire Torah, with 176 verses. And in it, one of the things it has is Birchas Kehanim, the blessing of the priests on how they should bless the Jewish people. Many congregations do it daily, some do it just on the holidays, and the first part of the blessing is Yivarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and guard you. So if God is blessing us, why does it have to be guarded? Well, the simple understanding is that because we have blessing, we have to really guard it, because think about people who won the lottery. How many of them have destroyed their lives, their relationships, and lost the money? And of course, if we won, we wouldn't do that. But we need God's assistance to make sure that, in fact, whatever blessing we get is guarded and protected. But we have to really look at the first part of the verse, Yivarechecha Hashem, that God should bless you. Many of us think that if I had this right degree, or if I had the good business savvy, that I'd be okay, I'd be set for life. But in fact, it doesn't work that way. Really, it works as, yes, we have to make our effort, but the bottom line is that ultimately it's the Almighty who provides. As a matter of fact, the Talmud teaches us that the amount of money that a person is destined to have every year is decided between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur every year. So that teaches us a very important idea, that we have to have balance in our lives, balance of spirituality, family, and work, and balance ultimately in effort and faith. So if we're losing ourselves in work, or we're making compromises in our values, or not being honest, then we're not doing it the right way, because we're forgetting that God is ultimately the one who provides for us. And interestingly enough, my father of blessed memory pointed out to me an interesting thing. He said, I saw that every time you had a baby, the Almighty provided another opportunity, another blessing. So thank God you were able to provide. And it was an unexpected thing for him to say. But again, realizing that yes, we have to do our effort, but on the other hand, ultimately it's God who provides. Story about a young man. He was 17 years old, and unfortunately his father got ill and had to close his business, and the family was living on Social Security. And he needed to help support the family, so he went to Rabbi Palm, a very special rabbi, and discussed with him. And Rav Pam divided it up into three parts. There's a part till 18, because till 18, your parents are getting more money for you. Once you're 18, they lose some of the money, so then they're going to be a much more difficult situation. Then the short term after that, and then the long term after that. And Rav Pam said, look, till 18, don't worry about it. Stay in yeshiva, study. You don't have to go out to work. Keep on learning Torah. You're doing great. By the way, parenthetically, just going back to the Gemara, the Talmud teaches us that a person is designated every year on Rosh Hashanah through Yom Kippur on what he's going to earn that year, with the exception of the expenses for Shabbos and what he spends to teach his children Torah. But going back to, we'll call him Yaakov. Yaakov said, okay, so till 18, stay in yeshiva. After 18, well, let's see what happens. And then in the future, we'll talk about that in the future. And sure enough, he stayed in yeshiva till 18. Then 18 came, and the money got less because the government funding ran out. But he was relieved to have Rav Pam's blessing, and he continued to study for a bit longer. And lo and behold, a short time later, Congress passed that anybody who's a full-time student, that the benefits go from 18 till 23. And thank God he was able to continue studying, and then long-term, he worked out something to go to work after that later on. So the powerful lesson for us is we have to make our effort, but God is the ultimate provider, and therefore we have to have pray for the Almighty's blessing, and as we say in the priestly blessing, God should bless you and guard you. So may we make our effort, but not at the expense of our soul or family, and make our effort in prayer in connection to God, because it's ultimately God's blessing that will provide for us. May the Almighty help us that we should be able to provide for our families properly with the gifts that the Almighty gives us, and use it well to take care of our family and to serve Him well. All the best. Have a great Shabbos.